Wednesday Craft and Chats. If you're seeing this red live button up here, we are live. If not, you're on the replay. That's great too. Just type in hashtag replay or say hello so I can know that you stopped by. If you've been here before, you will know that our Wednesday Artistry Collective is put together by Christy from Christy's Crafty Cottage. We kind of do a little channel hop on Wednesdays. So you can find me here. I start us off, and I'm in Washington State, the West Coast. And then we jump all the way to the East Coast with Leah, who make all the things with me. She is in New York. And then we stay on the East Coast there and finish up with our hostess, Christy from Christy's Crafty Cottage. And she's Maryland. So, yeah, we are a trio that works together on Wednesdays. And we always have some kind of crafty fun going on. And what in the world am I doing? So I am trying to work on this folio that I started on a Facebook live last week, and it's supposed to be more done by tomorrow. If you hang out with some of my other social media, you will know I do it Thursdays with friends with my friend Tamara from Tamara's Designs, and we are working on what she is calling some ephemera. So we're trying to get a head start on our Ephemera and make a fun little folio to hold all of our ephemera for Ephemera. So I am trying to get mine done. I am a little bit behind. She has got hers all completed and ready to go for tomorrow. And yep, I'm not quite there yet. It has been so hot here in the western side of Washington. And I know I say so hot, but we don't usually deal with the heat as well as other areas. Not very many places here have air conditioning. It's not very common to have it in your house. We have a little roll around unit, fortunately, because it helps to keep the bedrooms cooler in the evenings, but that's about it. Hello, Leah. So glad to see you here, my friend. And hey, there's Sharon. Hello, ladies. Come on in. Hit that thumbs up button for me if you would. Let me know that you're here. It is summer, so you know viewership is down, and boy, all those little things really help us out. So just smash that thumbs up. Tell your friends that we're here. Pour the coffee, as I like to say. Do all the things, and just come and hang out with me. Whoops. I haven't really wanted to be in the craft room much. It's the warmest room in the house. But I am excited to get to work on this project and see how it's going to progress. Whoops. I started with a file folder, and you can see this from last Thursday. It was, I think we were on my Facebook page. I'll put a link down in the description box, but just know that it won't stay there forever because Facebook has now started deleting their live videos after so many days. So it'll be there until it's gone. And when it's gone, it's not because I removed it. It's because Facebook has decided they need space, I guess. Hey, Sherry. Welcome in. So, yeah, I started with a file folder, and I've just got it. It's just your standard office-type file folder. And this is like if it were open. And I did cut the 1 tabs off of here to make it the size that I wanted. And I'm just trying to get my backgrounds covered now. And then I'm going to make these into little pockets so they can hold all kinds of fun tags and ephemera for upcoming Ephemera journals that we're doing. And the digitals that I'm using today are all freebies from Louisa Heinzel. So you can go and grab yours too if you want some, want to play along, grab a file folder or whatever you have. Could be a cereal box or maybe a manila envelope that you want to deconstruct and put together. Anything that you can make fold up like so. This one's going to fold up like this and around. Once I take those clips out, it'll lay better, and this will be the holder that it's going to be. I put this little book plate on here. I love that. And again, this is a freebie from Louisa Heinzel for her newest collection, Poppyfield Avenue, and it's gorgeous if you haven't seen it already. I forget which freebie this is from, but she has a page on her website that you can go to where it just says all the freebies, and they are digital printables. If you've never used or you're not familiar with what freebie means, it just means it's free to download and print out on any substrate that your printer will print on. So you could print this on fabric, you could print it on photo paper or just regular, these are just printed on regular copy paper. But it is fun sometimes to try and see the different, even just the different qualities and colorations you can get when you print on like photo paper versus cardstock versus printer paper versus glossy paper. Like there's so many different kinds of papers out there. So if you haven't explored that, you definitely should. I like to print on different business card templates and old stickers and all kinds of things. You know, I used to do all those print your own before Vistaprint was so affordable. Hey, Diana. How's everybody doing today? You guys staying cool? It is toasty. Yesterday, we were under a heat advisory until 10 o'clock at night. It was so warm. And I know for some of you, it's not like you're used to 3-digit heat. It wasn't that, but it was still pretty toasty. We're just not used to that much heat here on the western side of Washington. But August is usually our warmest month of the summer. And most of us say, oh, I don't need AC. And then we get here to our most warm times of the year. And it's like a couple of weeks that are warm. And we're like, oh, we need AC. Hey, there's my tomorrow friend. Hello, Chris. Okay, so now I am just trying to get all my surfaces covered and figure out where I'm going to glue on some fun things. These clips are not going to stay here. These are just clipped here so I can remember what my plan was. I've got some different size file folders, and I will be gluing this down here, but the file folders aren't going to open. They are going to be on here like a little pocket with an area to put a label if I want to. And these I've just kind of started collaging with some of my scraps that I cut off the backgrounds here. This is a library pocket. So these would normally go into a library book, and this actually is a vintage one. So this is going to go sideways here so I can put some tags or something in over here. And then I've got another file folder. No, maybe I was going to do the paper bag there. I want to do a little bag, just the bottom of the bag. Then when you pull it, it will open. I think it needs to go, yeah, like this. And then when you pull it, it will open. But I want to use a texture fade on that one so that it'll be textured kind of like these ones are. I just haven't decided yet which one I want to do. I might do these little letter ones. The Poppyfield Avenue collection is all about, there's a whole story that talks about it, but it's basically to do with mailing, like postage letters. And it's got a story of a man and woman that used to meet at a stationery nook, and yeah, it's kind of fun. So if you haven't seen it from Louisa Heinzel over on YouTube, just go check it out because she does all kinds of fun, great things. All right, and then I've been using frayed burlap spray, very mixed media style. So if you like more cleaner lines and whatever, you can definitely do that. But this was from an older freebie, and I thought it went perfectly. Look in the background here, you got these kind of cracks and things, and that just like, I feel like that really matches very, very well with that. And I just glued that on, and I don't think I glued down this seam very good. Nope, we need more glue. More glue, more glue. And of course, I'm gonna need more ink. I haven't inked the edges or anything just yet. But tomorrow is Thursdays with Friends. That is a lovely collaboration between myself and Tamara's Designs, and we will be working more on the ephemera to put in some of the pockets on some of these. I don't know if we've decided yet which ephemera we're going to work on, but it'll be great no matter what it is. We always come up with something fun. Okay, so I want to put in some more, just some more fun layers. This is a stamp, and it has a bunch of numbers and things on it, and I just want to get a little more interest in the background. And I've got this other page here, and I want to put these little file folders. I've got like 3 of them. So one will hold like tabs, one will hold labels, and maybe I just need 2. What do you guys think? So the problem with putting file folders or even pockets closer to the top is that then it hangs over the top, things might fall out, or you just don't really have enough room for things to lay flat. So maybe if I do like 2. I had another one sitting right here. You guys will have to bear with me today. The eyes are still not great. But I'm on a little bit of a respite from the eye injections. I go back, I think, on the 3rd of September to get an injection in each eye. So I'm not looking forward to that. No pun intended. But I am thankful to have a little bit of a break because it's a lot. It's not fun, very painful, makes me very anxious. I don't like it, but my retinal specialist says that it is definitely necessary. So take care of your eyes. It's the best advice I can give to anyone. All right, let's see. Maybe this was the file folder that I had right there, but I thought I grabbed this one from over here. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Okay. So here we go. I have these littler ones. And so now maybe I'm thinking, maybe I just need 2 right here. I was going to do 3, but maybe we'll just do 2. And these obviously need ink and some paper, like a little focal point or something. I think that will be great. And I love the background here. We're trying to stay more neutral, and since I went kind of a little more full on with the color here of these flowers, I thought the rest of it, I just kind of stay some light colors in the background. So you're loving being able to watch you on your TV. Oh my goodness. While you're commenting on your phone. Wow. So you have me on 2 different screens. Thank you so much. My viewership has definitely been down. 1, since I haven't been here, and 2, just because it's summertime. So I greatly appreciate you watching on multiple screens. See, I had this 3rd one here. So this was the initial plan. I was going to do like so. So I was going to do 1, 2, and then 1 at the top. But I just think, as far as functionality goes, that might just be too much. So maybe if I just did 2, I would have a little more room for whatever I want to put in them. I think that will be the plan. Just 2. And then maybe, oops, if I would stop dropping them, maybe I can do 1 on the inside somewhere. Okay, so let's do some stamping. I need to put some more things in the backgrounds of these. And I need to do some more inking. I need to ink along the edge. Of course, I've got my frayed burlap out. Can't go far without that. And I don't know if this, let's see if this tea dye will show up. This one's just Distress ink, not Distress oxide. And we'll see. These are the ones that live at the top. Most of them aren't. There we go, Scorched Timber. That'll be nice and dark. These are the ones I don't have labeled just yet. Oh, there's some Vintage Photo too. I usually don't reach for Vintage Photo. It's funny, that's like everyone's go-to. Tell me in the comments, what is your go-to for brown? I usually like Frayed Burlap, and it lives like not far away from reach. But it seems like everybody likes Vintage Photo or Walnut Stain. And I do have them. I do like them. They're just not my go-tos. They never really have been. It's weird. All right, let's see what a little tea dye. We'll put some numbers in the background here. And this is going to be just random. Again, it's very collage and mixed media inspired. If you're following along with Louisa and her recent collection, she's making splatters and just having a great time in her journal. And so that's kind of what I was thinking with this folio. She's got a ton of layers, and I don't know that I want to go that layered out, especially here on this folio, but I definitely want to be more collage and mixed media inspired. These little tape measure lines were also from a freebie from Louisa Heinzel. You can find some of those things in some Tim Holtz ephemera as well. But again, you don't have to spend money on buying products. You can get a freebie, free digitals. Hello, Lynette. Welcome in. Frayed burlap and tea dye. Yes. Frayed burlap is my hands down favorite. I love it. I don't know what I ever did without frayed burlap. And I especially love when you spray, because if you spray the frayed burlap Distress Oxide, it kind of gives you all of this wonderful like gray, blue, green. I don't know what it is, but it just blends beautifully when you're trying to do like mixed media collage. Okay, this is just very, very light. So again, just giving some extra interest into the areas that maybe don't have any ink yet, or that are maybe going to be seen just a little bit at the bottom. You don't have to be very precise when you're doing this, because the whole part of it is not going to be seen. Maybe just some of the edges or things in the background. You can see just very, I don't know, random. The cool thing about digital freebies is that you can print them as much or as little as you want. So I've printed this new one, the one that I have this in the cover, about 3 or 4 times, and I've ripped it apart to use the pieces up here to cover this backsplash up there. And then those are gonna make my pockets. And my desk is absolutely a disaster. I haven't really been in here because it's just too warm. Too warm. And I do have a fan in here, and we have a fan in the hallway, in the doorway, and we have fans all over. And we have a little AC unit in the hallway, but it's not the whole house. So, yeah. There, we'll turn that one on. I sometimes turn this fan off. I have like a little personal fan in here, but it blows like right on me on one spot, and I don't like that. Okay, let's do some of these little file folders. We'll get this. The back of it is white. These were just die cuts. And believe it or not, these are just the old red Sizzix die cuts. They are still very useful. I love them. And that's the cool thing about when you buy tools. They can last through the test of time. I've had those for, gosh, over 15 years. And they still do just great. Okay. I didn't get much on there. Let's do a little bit more over here. So on these little areas here, I just plan to maybe stencil and do some stamping. Luis has done a lot of splattering lately, and that's a fun way to work. If you like to get a little messy, you can also do some sprays. She's done a lot with texture paste. She is definitely a fun mixed media artist to watch. If you haven't checked her out, you definitely are missing out. Okay. And what is this one? This one is just laying here. Contents, merchandise postmaster. Ah, that's perfect. Okay. So just want to do a little piece of it, and I'm just going to let it kind of hit and miss. And again, some of this won't be seen. It's going to be covered, which then some people say, why do you do it? Well, it's just part of the process, part of the way that it works. It's in the background. It's how you create the background. And if this isn't your process, then, you know, feel free to do what works best for you. I like creating that little bit of interest, though. Like, what does that say? And really, you never really find out what it says, which I know for some people is not fun, but I think it's kind of cool, unique, putting those scripty fonts in the background. All right, let's get some of this frayed burlap distress oxide and get some fun background ink going on these file folders. They are definitely looking very shiny. So if you're just popping on and you missed my intro, this is the live craft and chat with the Artistry Collective on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, 3 of us get together and we do a little YouTube channel hop. So after me will be Leah from Make All the Things With Me. And then after her will be Christy from Christy's Crafty Cottage. And Christy's Crafty Cottage is also our hostess of this wonderful Wednesday event. We've been getting together for more than a year now. I can't believe time has just flown by. I keep thinking to myself, where did it go? where did all the time go? All right, making sure I can see the comments here. I'm learning to work a little bit differently all over again. When I first lost most of my eyesight in 2020, it was learning to craft all over again. I've been a paper crafter for over 25 years, maybe even 30 years now. I think it's been, yeah. And trying to learn blind is like a new fun trick. And now I've lost most of the use of my right eye. And I'm a right-handed girl. I live in a right-handed world. Everything is done. Right hand is always my strength and go to. I lead with my right foot. I lead with my right hand. All the things. So you love watching lives when you are crafting. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I'd love it if you craft along with me. What are you working on? I am here on YouTube. I have over 400 videos, mostly about paper crafting and junk journaling, making ephemera, different techniques, different products. And then I'm also on YouTube, sorry, I am on YouTube right now. I'm also on Facebook. Hey, Karen, how are those kitties doing? I love seeing all your pictures of what Figaro and Mr. Dominic are getting up to. Oh, okay, let's put some ink on the edges of this. I got you guys pretty zoomed in because that is unfortunately what works best for me right now. And I keep dropping like everything here, there, and everything. That is a sign I need to clean. It is long overdue. Paper crafting and junk journal, perfect. Well, this is a little ephemera folio that I am making out of a file folder, and it is going to be used to hold some ephemera for Ephemera. Again, very Louisa Heinzel inspired. She is the one of the collaborators for Ephemera, and her and Barbara from 49 Dragonflies do Ephemera. And last year, my friend Tamara from Tamara's Designs and I swapped journals for Ephemera, and it was just so much fun, and we wanted to do it again this year. And I think she's being really brave and wants to host a journal swap. So if you want to take part in our journal swap for Ephemera, we do have a smaller group. It's called Thursdays with Friends and Junk Journals on Facebook. And you can jump over there. And it's free to join. And yeah, she will be posting more information about the swap. Oh, the kitties are doing great. That's so good. I love hearing that. It's sometimes tough for a new little kitty to move in town. They leave their litter and their mama and go to a new family. And sometimes the kitties that have lived there for forever don't want to share their people and their space and their home. But it's sometimes really fun to watch the process as they grow into their own and they become siblings. We have 2 kitties that live inside and 1 kitty that lives outside here. And outside, he's kind of indoor, outdoor. He goes into my husband's shop in the barn and lives outside too. He loves to be outside. He hunts like none other. He even can catch birds. He's pretty fast. He was dumped here and we love him. We got him vet care right away when he was left here, and we've named him, and and we've just loved him. So he's living his best life here on our farm. not the best way to get a cat, but somebody said that there is a cat distribution system. I definitely believe that, because most of our cats, well, I guess that's not totally true. Fanta I sought out, but our orange kitty. But our other kitty, he was my daughter's cat mostly, but he was, I guess, a cat had babies at our friend's house while they were gone on vacation, and we were watching their house. So the mama then decided not to take care of them, and there was two. One didn't make it, and Oscar ended up coming to live with us. So that's how we got him. And he is a really great cat. Hello, Poppy. How are you? I hope everybody is doing well. We're midway through the week. Okay. I wanted to kind of get some ink around the edge of this file folder. You can really tell it's a file folder right now, and I'd rather it just be like, what is that she made it out of? Kind of a guess. And I think I'm going to put a trim along here. That's why I cut this a little bit shorter, to leave a little bit of room for trim there. And that will help to hide this seam as well. Again, this is a kind of messy mixed media look. So if it's not for you, you definitely don't have to use ink. You don't have to use brown inks. You can use a color. The Distress ink and Distress Oxide inks come in a 72 color palette, so you don't have to have all the colors. You don't have to like all the colors. It's been so much fun to collect them over the years. They just celebrated 20 years of Distress, and I have been around for all 20 years, and it's just so great. I love it. I love having something to collect. Your fat orange kitty, Noemi, is a bird killer. Oh no, but she's doing what she is made to do, so we just cry, move on. That's right, yeah. She walked up to your house and stayed. Aww. Yep, well, see, that's what they say is that cat distribution system. They have a way of finding their way to you, even if you maybe didn't even want a cat or didn't even know you needed a cat. I totally believe that's true. We live on a dead-end road, and it's a little more built up now. There's been some neighbors that have built houses in a big garage-type house and whatnot. But over the years, but we used to get a couple of dumps a month for a little while when we first moved in here, and it just broke my heart because I mean we have a little cat shelter on our back porch where there's food and water in case if that happens, but we haven't had any for the last couple of years, and that's been nice because you know it's hard to care for all of them, and it's just not a nice way for people to represent themselves. And our little boy that got dumped here, he's been with us now, I think for 3 years. We got him neutered and got some vet care and all the things, and he's been a really great addition to our household lives here. Okay. Yeah, several ferals that hang out. Hey, Jerry. Yeah. Somebody's got to take care of them. There's one feral cat. We call her Shortcake. My husband kind of calls her Nutcake because she's a little crazy, but you know, I think she kind of has to be because she won't let anybody catch her. Occasionally, I can convince her to be in our barn when it's really, really cold outside. The weather here in Western Washington really isn't too terrible. But we do get a lot of rain, and then, you know, we do have some frozen days during the winter, and it is cold, especially with the wind. So it's nice we can at least provide her a warm place to go, and she will hang out kind of in the entryway of our barn. And as long as she doesn't tread too crazy, the male cat that we have living around doesn't mind her too much. She just, you hardly even know she's there. She comes to eat and get out of the weather and dry off, and then she goes back out and does whatever, whatever she does. But she was dumped off years ago, and she wasn't one that wanted to be captured. She doesn't want to live inside. She's happy to just be roaming around. So I guess that's how she's living her life. Okay. I think I want to spray just a little bit of this background before I glue down these file folders. I told Tamara, she was like, oh, my folio is all done. I even posted pictures of it in group. And I'm like, oh no, I haven't even really worked on mine again. So I was like, yeah, that's what I need to do today. I need to get back in there and get going. Now I had my frayed burlap spray. There it is. Aha. It never lives too far away. That is how I've gotten some of this wonderful smudging here and all of this here. So I just want to continue it here. This is going to be little file folders, so I want that to be kind of in the background. And when you spray, use a splat box, or be warned that you'll get overspray. It will go onto everything. It really will. You'll find it on weird things. Sometimes I even have it on my phone. There we go. So that just kind of tones down the brightness a little bit and puts some splatters on there, which I love. Okay. Now I don't know what Leah or Christy has in mind for today, what they're going to be working on, but I'm sure it will be fabulous. Okay, so this one's going to glue on here. Nope, not there. In here. In here, in here. There we go, just like so. And then I think we're going to need to find a focal point for those, or maybe even just add another little strip of color. We could add just a fun little belly band across the way. Now these are the leftover pieces that I have from putting the backgrounds on there. So again, I'll just free these. I don't know if I want to put a belly band because I think I just want to use these as just little pouches. I plan to put tabs in one and I think labels in another one. And then out here we'll have tags and room for all kinds of fun things. Clusters maybe, I don't know. What's your guys' favorite kind of ephemera? Printed off a bunch of the freebies from Louisa Heinzel, and again you can see I printed this one a couple of times because I used the other side of the page, but there is a bunch of different colors, and like even though this bird really doesn't go with the theme I'm using for here, look at what the background would be like if we just stole a portion, or even over here just a piece of this. And then these ones I loved as well. They kind of have some of these, it's like a neutral palette, but then it does bring in some color. This one is just kind of some little off-whites, but they've got kind of a crackle. So if you're not good at doing crackle or you don't want to mess with crackle, this is a great way to get it. And then even though this one was from her bunny collection, you can still use this half, which I do really like a lot. I think I want to use that one for something else. So, okay, I think it's going to be this. And we'll tie in some of that darker colors. Hi, Regina. Welcome in. Welcome to the Artistry Collective's Live Wednesdays. I wasn't able to be here last Wednesday, I don't think. There's been a couple Wednesdays I haven't made it because I've been dealing with some terrible eye happenings, and it's not fun. It's very painful, and it makes it really hard to see anything for at least the first few hours. after an injection, and even there for a little while after. So I'm trying to adjust to that. Okay. If you saw this one, I kind of wrapped it around the edge, and you can easily do that if you want to have like a colored edge on the side, since this is going to be a pocket. I'm not going to actually use it as a file folder. It's just going to be a pocket. And I'm tempted to put what my friend Tamara calls a hold-me-downer here with a little brad, so it'll look like if it would flip out, this would open, but it's not actually going to open. So I think we'll glue this down, and then we'll work on putting those on. And what's cool about those photo turns, that's what they're actually called, photo turn, is that they're flat, so they don't produce a lot of bulk. The bigger bulk really is in your brad, but if you use a mini brad, it's pretty cool. It works just fine. All right, we'll get rid of this white edge. And I think what's really fun about doing this style of a background is that later I can still put in some different focal points if I decide I want it to match more of what I've got going on. Let's go ahead and put a couple strips of glue on this little file folder here. And so I'm just going to glue the edge here and the edge over here. Of course, you could use double-sided tape or whatever glue that you like. It's been so warm here. I went to get a baby wipe out, and it's hardly wet at all. So check on your mediums. Make sure that your mediums are doing okay in the heat. A lot of mediums for art are heat sensitive. Meaning like your gesso, your paints, your glues, texture paste, gel mediums, those kinds of things. Make sure that they're all still doing okay in the heat. And also if it's really cold where you are. So summer and winter time, usually a good time to check on them. I had to throw away so many hundreds of dollars worth of mediums when I had a she shed. I moved everything out there and had no idea about the temperatures. And of all things, bees. The bees attacked one of my windows, and they made this horrible mess. It came into the wall and down the windows, and ugh. And I'm allergic to bees, so it was not fun. Okay, so that's gonna go there. We're gonna put the little photo turn there, so that way when I put stuff in here, it's more just going to be in here like a little pocket. I think that's what's so cool about paper crafting, though, is that no matter how much space you have or don't, you know, maybe don't feel like you have any space, it can change over the years. Mine definitely has. When I first started paper crafting, I mostly was into stamping, and I just had some stamps and ink in a little tiny tote, and I would pull it out and do it at the table and put it away when I was done. And then that grew from a tote. I had like a little dresser in the mud room, and I would just kind of grab the things I was using and bring them out. And you know, then I had kind of an office area. It was like a little office nook in one of our houses that we lived in. It was kind of off the living room. And then I had a table in our laundry room. And then I got a whole store, which I had a scrapbooking store and a whole studio, which was so much fun. And then from there, we closed the store, and I got downsized back to just our bedroom. I had like a little area in our bedroom. And then once that was gone, once one of the kids left home, then I got their room. So, you know, space is ever changing. I see some of these beautiful craft rooms. People have amazing basements. We don't have that really here. Too much flood water where we are to have a basement. And I'm loving my glue since I changed the glue top here. I used a Gina K bottle topper, and I used alcohol ink to dye the clear plastic lid, because you can use alcohol ink on any non-porous surface, and it made it blue so I can find it easier. If you have any kind of eye issues, or if you're always losing your glue pin or glue lid or whatever, it was a great answer for me. All right, let's get that excess glue off of there. And we'll glue on this little piece here. And like I said, what I think is awesome is just creating this base color, base background. Later, when I'm ready to decorate or whatever, I can put a focal point right here or what have you. And these will just have some basic color on there ready to go. And I can just have fun adding in whatever the focal points are going to be. Now, my photo turns are really old. Most of these companies are long since out of business. These ones, they call them photo anchors, are from Junkets, and that was a business that Tim Holtz had. He was part of their company, what does it say, in 2005. So, yeah, pretty cool. Long since out of business, but I have savored every one that I have had. My store was full of them, and I really enjoy using them. They are a little bit hard to find these days, but you can still find them. Maybe not in all of the fun colors, but you still can find them. Okay, now I need a brad for them to hook on with. Some of them will come with brads, some of them won't. So some of them it's like you have to get your own brads, and you can see my little bucket here, whoops, has a variety of different colors. I should open them, but I enjoy looking at the packages when I open them up, just remembering like the Making Memories ones. Some of them have words on them, which are fun if you, especially if you use alcohol ink, can color the metals. Okay, we will put this back, and I'll grab the other here and try to find some brads. All right, tweezers are somewhere. Here they are. So my photo turns are black. I kind of like these gray brads that are in here. Oh, that's a really dark one, but there's also a gray one. I think that one matches. Yep. All right, there we go. Again, these photo turns are just going to be mostly for looks, but you can also make them functional. Man, I am just knocking stuff over left and right today. Okay, so the way I usually do them is I like to lay this wherever I would need it. Like if I wanted it to close here, and then the brad will allow it to swing open like that. So it could be functional, but these ones are not going to be. I like to hold the photo turn. You can either dot it with a pen or whatever, then use your pokey tool or your tip of your scissors or a hole punch. Whatever it is you are making a little hole with, you can even use a little thumbtack. Press that on in there and fold these little tabs down. Now, if I'm doing a brad somewhere that I think is going to be, there's going to be a pocket or something there, like over here. So this is going to be a pocket up here, and I have some brads holding the little book plate on. So I would just put some Scotch tape over those tabs so it doesn't catch on anything. You will find a lot of my works have metals. I love using metals. Okay, I think that just adds a little something extra and fun there. So we'll just kind of hold it where we want it. Poke the hole. Be careful. I've got my finger pressed on the back here, and it is sharp as it comes through there. I think this one is a little bit of a different color than the other one, but it's not going to matter. This one's a little more green, and that one's a little more gray, but that's okay. They don't have to be perfectly matched. Okay, so you can see, just adds, but if this were to not be glued down now, it could slide out of the way and allow that file folder to open. It's a wonderful solution if you're trying to figure out how to close flip-flaps and things in your journals. Okay, I think we're gonna go right about here. And if I really wanted to, I could glue these down and so that I have a pocket up here as well. And I think I will do that because then I could stick some tags right behind it if I wanted to. So just about anything you glue down in a folio or a junk journal can be made into a pocket just by gluing the 3 sides. I always like to put my fingers where I'm not gluing so I remember not to glue there. We'll go ahead and put this right at the bottom, and I'm going to try to save this edge here so that I can put some trim. So I've kind of scooted it over that way just a little bit. Now, if I wanted to go in true Louisa Heinzel fashion, I would have splotched and splatted and done all kinds of more texture paste and stenciling and whatever to this. But, oh, thanks, Sharon. Yeah, if you guys wouldn't mind giving the video a nice big thumbs up, that would help me tremendously. But yeah, I can still go in and add some stenciling and texture paste or whatever I want to add to this. I just got to get the basic foundation done so that it's ready to hold whatever I want to put in here. And I really like using my old red Sizzix Bigs dies to make these file folders because I can make more than one at one time. And I can make it out of a thicker cardstock, or I can cut chipboard. With the Bigs dies, you can cut bigger things. So that's why I love my big dies. They do take up lots of storage space. I have a huge cabinet full, and then I have them in random places around the house too. It's like the craft room just burst and like shut out supplies everywhere all over our house, but it is what it is. We don't have kids messing up the works anymore, but I do. It's like, I guess I don't know. I guess I cleaned up after everybody for so many years that I just thought, well, now I'm just going to leave my stuff wherever I am. No, that's really not my mentality, but with the foot issues that I've had the last couple of years, I can't carry things as I walk along anymore, so you're learning from the best. Thank you. You love vintage photo and frayed burlap. Yeah. I'm embracing vintage photo again. I'm really loving tea dye though, because it really puts those kind of fun notes very far, what looks like very far in the background. So now you can see we have this fun little flap here, a couple file folders, so we can put a little something back here, and we can put some things like some smaller things, like smaller tags or labels or whatever inside of here. And then again, like I said, we have room in the back here to put some bigger tags. And again, back here and right there, which will be great. I definitely want to put some tabs in there. I love using tabs. Okay, so that fixed up this side here. How are we doing on time? Because up after me is Leah from Make All the Things With Me. Leah, you got about 12 minutes, my friend. And you can see what's really great also about this project is that it's really easy to pick it back up and pick up where you left off from last time. This one was a big file folder. Here it is. And I had started kind of collaging on this one, just my leftover scraps I just was gluing down. I need to glue something right here because I got a little bit of a hole. And I loved this, how this ruler looked here. This, like I said, was just a Louisa Heinzel freebie, and it was on the side of the page. And I just cut it off and used it, and I thought it was fantastic. I think I might put this little bit of brick right down here. Oh, or maybe I want it to go this way. I don't want to hide everything because it does have some of my cool splatters and stuff, but it would be kind of nice, I think. No, but if I do this way, then the brick goes the wrong way. But that could be interesting too. Sometimes it's fun just to see the different looks you can get. But I think actually what I want to do, maybe I'll use that brick right here, and it's going to go this way. So I can put it here on this little pocket. And this is just one of those fun, just get your paper out, get it printed, get whatever you want to use out with it, and just have fun gluing and inking and just stamping, doing whatever it is that strikes you at the moment. And I love those kind of projects. I do have to provide a little bit of thought because I'm using so many brads and poking holes and that kind of thing. But otherwise, really not too much thought is happening. The idea is to create a lot of pockets so that the ephemera can be held down. That aside, and I purposely cut this or tore it just a little bit short so we can still see what's going on in the background back here. And don't feel like you have to use the bottom edge of the page. Like if I wanted this piece out of the center, which I'm really tempted to do, because it has these beautiful little splats and cracks and all the creases, I definitely could just take that piece right out of there. In fact, I think I'm going to. And this little piece can go on the other page over here and fill in right there. They say what makes it vintage, I think, is 100 years makes it antique, but I think 20 years is what makes it vintage. And that makes me so sad because I'm going, oh my gosh, stuff from 2005 is now vintage. When did that happen? I recently went to a concert and the CD was celebrating 30 years. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I still have that CD. Like, how did that even happen? Where did 30 years go? How does that even happen? Time is seriously a thief. It really is. All right. This one I didn't get to, I didn't rip the edge there. So, and I kind of want to crinkle it just a little bit. So, use my paper distresser. Now this is a Tim Holtz tool by Tonic Studios. They make this other one too. This is a little rotary tool, but this one is one of the old paper distressors. The new one now is black and gray like this one, but I like my old one, and it's also by Tim Holtz. I had a really cute pink one. It's around here somewhere by Heidi Swap, and I love that one too. Layers, people, layers. That's right, paper layers. And if you get something you don't like, and when you're collaging or gluing things down, just keep layering until you get something great. And try different things with your layering. Try, paper, ink, stencils, paint, texture paste. And if you need inspiration, Louisa Heinzel is absolutely fantastic. Her newest collection it's like, how much mixed media can we use? And I love it. I think it's great. It's kind of messy. So, I mean, if messy's not your jam, I get it. But you don't have to do all of it. You can just, even if you just grab one thing from her videos, take one thing from it. It's sure to be something great. So let's put some ink here on this edge so that it really blends in with what I've already got going. And then, like I said, I don't have to choose my focal point right now. Just getting this background down, I'll be able to leave it like it is, or I can add a fun, whatever, anything goes. Oh, when it comes to collaging, I love collaging. I've made several videos on making masterboards and things. If you ever want to just go and watch my process. I also have a paid group called Frapps House Fun. It's on Facebook. It's a subscription group, and we do all kinds of fun things in there. And I show you how to collage. The most recent book that we did in there is actually sitting right next to me. We took a little 6x6 piece of paper And we made a fun collage here in the background. We used tea bags and all kinds of just little papers and stamps and inks. And then this is a chipboard baseboard from Ideology, Tim Holtz. And then we've got actually a transparency back there and a transparent sticker back there. The cover's not done yet. We're gonna add some more mixed media things, some flowers and things. And then we've got what I like to call a slipped spine in here, and some Easter egg die is what I use to make this dyed paper. And then this is an envelope in here. So yeah, so we go a little slower in my subscription group. We usually work on one project a month. And it kind of combines just my artistic style and how I do things. One time we went pretty in deep, in like a deep dive on how to use all of these different mediums and when to use gesso versus when to use gel medium or those kinds of things. What are the differences? When do you use them? What are they for? We talked about it. Everyone is really nice in there, and they ask, you know, it's a safe space to ask questions and really learn and grow from each other, and I love it. I love my ladies. We meet on Fridays. We have a live every Friday, and it rotates from an evening one and a morning one, and I don't know what it is for my sweet tomorrow friend Chris in Australia. But she joins us as well, and that's a lot of fun. Okay. I'm gonna glue this down here. Now I could glue this like a pocket up the top, but I'm not going to want to do, I'm not gonna do that. You can. I personally, since this is on an end flap over here, it's the end of my fold, and I'm gonna have stuff sticking out. I don't want to put anything up here that's going to encourage it to peel apart. So, you know, you definitely can, and be more careful putting things in there. I could turn it the other way. I really like the little mismatchy part of it. This is just one of those fun, it kind of looks like you just used exactly what you have. I had a library pocket, I had some file folders and maybe an envelope or something. And you just put something practical and fun together. And I think that really is what makes junk journaling so much fun, is that you really can make something out of next to nothing. You can use junk mail. Old file folders that maybe nobody's using in a desk anymore, or these are old vintage library pockets, because I don't even know if the libraries they use a barcode, so they don't, you know, put a little pocket in there telling you when to return your book anymore. You're not seeing all the comments. Oh no. Oh, they're both mornings for you. Okay, so one's just a really early morning. Goodness. Okay, so there's that. Let's glue this one down. That'll kind of help fill up this little middle center here. And I think this is also great too. You can use up your scraps just to do like collage. I love making masterboards. My girls learned to collage early on in their paper crafting journeys as well. They also learned to die cut. They were my die cutters. If I ever needed to craft and needed them to craft next to me or whatever, they learned to use a Sizzix die cutting machine. Okay, this one. Now this one I had to cut a little bit shorter so that it would fit here. But it's gonna go here, and I'm thinking I almost might want to put a photo turn here too, and then this one I might make into a little pocket back there like I did those other ones. So let's grab another one of our hold me downers, and we'll find a brad, and that'll be just about my time for tonight. I'm so glad I was able to get this a little more finished up. So that way tomorrow over on Facebook, when we start to make some things to fill in the pockets, mine will actually have some pockets. Okay, let's take this. Oh, come on. And thank you guys again for bearing with me so much here. I am a little slower at things. These eyes, I don't really see depth perception very good anyways. And then being a right-handed world girl and having to deal with everything out of the left eye only pretty much has been, it's like seriously rocked my world, guys. And not in a good way. I remember the first year when I lost my eyesight, for the most part of it, I just sat on the couch and cried. I could no longer drive, I could no longer work, I couldn't really do anything. And finally, Mr. Frapps said, okay, well, you can't do all these things, but you have to do something. So you got to figure it out, not just sit on the couch and cry. That was the best advice. And so we realized I could still paper craft, because there was times years ago I'd said I've been paper crafting for so long I could probably do it in my sleep. And that's such a great thing because muscle memory has been fantastic for me. All right, guys. Well, that is my time. I hope you will head on over and see Leah from Make All the Things with Me, and we'll see what kind of crafty fun things she is doing in this hot summer day. And then after her will be Christy from Christy's Crafty Cottage. And I'm just going to keep working along here on my little fun folio. And I will see you guys next time. Join me over on Facebook tomorrow, too, to see how this folio keeps unfolding. Bye, everyone.